Good morning. Welcome to our new show. It is your girl, Coach Regina, with Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. We're doing something new in this new year. Welcome Facebook, welcome Instagram, and welcome YouTube. It is your girl, Coach Regina, in the Coaches Cafe this morning. Happy New Year. If you were not with me in the old year, allow me to introduce myself. This is the live recording of my new podcast. It's going to be excellent for us to be in community beyond the social. So I'm excited about what's happening in the new year. And so I have been resting, and we're going to talk about that today. But I wanted to just give you a brief introduction of who I am if you are not familiar with your girl. So I am a plant-based whole food lifestyle behavior health and leadership coach. I've been on my health journey for over 20 something years. Hard to believe, but maybe not with this gray showing up over here. I don't know. But I've been on my health journey for quite a long time in a number of different ways. Good morning, Roz from Gulfport, Mississippi. I've been on my health journey for quite a long time for a number of different reasons. And so for me, at this point in time, it is so beyond me in that we are in a position where it is in our best interest to recover our health. Nobody's going to recover our health for it. So I'm going to be pulling up. If you've been trekking with me for any length of time, you know I do pull up every Friday at 6 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And so we're going to be having our podcast, The Regina L. Lacking Show. But in the meantime, Regina L. Lacking Show will be powered by Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. And that is my coaching and consultant business where I serve individuals as well as groups and organizations, and I partner with medical clinics to go through a 90-day or either a year-long lifestyle behavior health transformation. And so got the results myself, had a medical issues about 11 years ago, matter of fact, in 2014. And I've been on a serious health journey ever since then. So it's no point in keeping all this stuff to myself. Welcome to the Coaches Cafe. I've been talking a lot about welcome. Drop in the comments where you're from. I'm glad to have you here with me this morning. But I've been pulling up for quite a while now on Instagram, YouTube, here lately, and then Facebook. We're here to drop you information to encourage you in your health. At the end of the day, in your health, in your physical health, as well as your emotional and your mental health. So I have been leaning very heavy into this resting space. And if you, for any length of time, have been going through this thing called life, you need some rest. Like we all need to be figuring out on this Figure Out Friday, what does rest look like for us in this new year? We're so accustomed, what I found that we're so accustomed to the grind culture, to the get it out the mud culture, to look, it's just me and mine, I'm gonna do my thing. But I want to invite you into a new space in this new year. I want to invite you to a space where you can stop pretending like you have it all together and like you really got to keep doing all these things, because that's not required. I'm going to pause right there because we're going to be doing some pausing in this new year. I'm going to pause right there because it is not required for you to run on empty, for you to be in a position where you're exhausted all the time. It is not required. It is required, though, that we learn how to prioritize our rest as we lean into doing this thing called life. And some people say, well, how do you what do you mean? How do you rest? What is that? So that's a red flag, if not a blue one, or whatever color you want to call it. And that's why I've been leaning into this space, because in my 28 years of serving in state government, I noticed quite often people were not prioritizing their health, period. Certainly we're not resting. And so in this new year, I am inviting you into this space. So I spend my time working with individuals as well as groups as it relates to what do you need right now? What do you need right now? And I'm hearing resoundingly These 3 words, I don't, well, maybe it's 4. I don't have time. These 4 words. I'm finding that people are not prioritizing anything related to themselves. And I'm not saying be dismissive of your responsibilities. That's not what the coach is saying. But what I am saying is that we tend to give absolutely so much to those around us. We give so much to our responsibilities that we find ourselves on the back burner. So, in this new year, I want to invite you into a new space. In this new year, I really want to invite you into a new space. And so today I want to, if you were with me last Friday, I talked with you all about the REST framework and what that entails. Because if we do not slow down and rest, there are some physiological, physical, and mental things that are impacted. So we're going to be breaking that down over the next several weeks. During the month of January, I'm breaking down my REST framework so that I can practically help you. It sounds good. What's up? What's up? Welcome, welcome. It sounds good to say that, hey, you need to rest, but then I'm hearing people say, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't even know how to do that. And so, for all those who don't know how to do that, we're going to be walking you through that. This is a safe space for you. So, if you're tired of being tired, and sometimes we don't even want to acknowledge when we're tired because there seems to be a badge of honor with all of this going and doing and the accolades that comes with being exhausted. I'm here to say, I'm here to say it's time to release. So if you are tired, and as sometimes we like to say, if you sick or tired of being sick or tired, yeah. So if you are carrying everyone else's whatever, but quietly running on empty, you don't have to drop it in the comments. You don't have to drop it in the chat because I recognize and I've been there. You're running everybody else's. You're leading the way, serving in whatever capacity that you have been called to serve in, but you're quietly running on empty. That's somebody out here. And at this point in time, you have decided, I'm tired of this. And in this new year, I'm going to do something different. Well, on this Figured Out Friday and going forward, that is your clear invitation. If you're craving how to do life well without the hustle, that's what we're after. We want to release the hustle. We want to release some of the things that we absolutely can release. Dropping them healing. Hey, drop that healing. Good. What's up? Oh, you up with your girl? Yes. Good morning. Yes. 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 So you're carrying it. You've been carrying it. And I'm like I said, I'm not gonna ask you to drop it in the chat in the comment because your cousin might be on here. You tired of carrying stuff for her. You know what I mean? You might be tired of carrying stuff for your sibling. So I'm not gonna ask you to drop anything in the chat because I know I've been there. I've walked in those shoes. You can be running on empty because you're serving and your capacity has been depleted. You don't even recognize it's been completed because you like to run on fumes. You say you operate better when you running on. No, you don't. That's just what society and culture has taught us, that you grind, you do, you pull up, and this is just what we do. No, this is your permission today. This is your permission. So I want you to make sure you turn those notifications on. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Make sure you have your notifications turned on every Friday, 6 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, right? Central Standard Time. We're pulling up Instagram, Figured Out Friday, but this is the live recording of the upcoming podcast, The Regina L. Lacking Show, where this is the space to stop pretending that you have it all together. I know you don't. because in this life, we don't. We just don't. And we start doing life well on purpose with intention. And here's what I want to challenge you on just in case you don't have it in community. So let's get into our conversation for today. Every Friday, I want you to know this is a space where you can slow down. Before you hit that door, this is the space where you can actually slow down, reclaim some real strategy in your life for your life that actually aligns with your faith, our health, and we're going to do this thing without burning out. Like 2025 was a burnout culture. I did so many workshops and talks and keynotes on burnout and self-care. But let's do some preventative work. 2026, we're doing some preventative work. So here I am. I'm inviting you to take a breath. Exhale right where you are. If you're still in the bed, take a breath. Take a breath. Settle in and let's figure this thing out together. You're not meant to do life alone. It's your girl. If you just joined, it's your girl, Coach Regina. We're doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. You are live with me on my upcoming show, the Regina L. Watkins Show, which will be podcast. This is the live recording of my podcast. So now let's get into our conversation for this first Friday of 2026. Episode number 1, we are starting with rest. Why are we starting with rest? Number 1, take notes if you're able to. We like to start the year off setting goals. And by the end, a lot of time we're setting health goals. Then we have people that set business goals. And so we grind the last quarter of 2020 of the previous year, figuring out what didn't work well, what worked well. And then we get stressed out because we did not accomplish one thing that was on this list of 25. You accomplished 24 things, but you still feeling like a failure. Unfortunately, I know people like that. So today, and in the month of January, what I'm going to be leaning into is this concept, this framework that I want to invite you to, REST. Today, I'm just going to break down the R. You're going to need to pull up next Friday for the E and the following Friday for the S and then the T. We're actually going to have a special guest on to have deep conversations around why is it important for us to rest. So I'm just not talking about my own personal experiences. I'm going to have some guest experts on here who've been walking this rest journey because rest is required. It is restorative. It brings forth true restoration. First of all, you're going to have to get off my porch. Hey, listen, let it resonate with you. Let it resonate. So today, y'all, the rest framework, which I've been in this place, I've been talking about it for several weeks. And I'll just share with you all for Christmas and the day after Christmas. When I tell you I rested, I didn't go anywhere. I laid around and did what felt good for my body and what felt good for my mind. And what felt good for my body was that couch in front of football all day long. Every game that came on, I was glued to the TV. Now, you do what works well for you when you're resting. This is not a prescription. Only you know what would help you to settle down. This is not a dictator. I'm not going to be dictating and things to you to do. It's not a prescription. It is conversation. I want us to begin to be open to advocate for what we need. Let me get some water. I forgot to tell y'all on Fridays, we do pull up with water. Or your beverage of choice. But I encourage you to pull up with water. So today, when I think about the rest framework and the things that I've been going through, I had to learn to release some things so that I could breathe again. So that's our conversation today. RELEASE, release. That's what the R stands for in this rest framework. You're going to have to decide to let go of some things so that you can breathe again. Those around you are breathing. They going on about their business because you're doing all the things for them. But I'm inviting you into this space to let go. If you're able to, type in the comments, let go so I can breathe again. You were smothered in 2025. You were smothered with stress. You were smothered with hard decisions. You were smothered with all the needs, desires, and the requests. You were smothered with all the responsibilities that you were carrying, the weight of the world, caring for sick relatives. You were smothered and ripping and running with kids and grandkids. Mind you, you were smothered. And so some of us, yes. I need to breathe again. Yes, this is your invitation. This is going to be a gradual process. So again, have your notifications on because we're not just going to pull up and just drop it like it's hot and leave. We're going to be pulling up very intentionally with these conversations. And then there are other ways I want you all to connect with me outside of the socials. But some of us are not exhausted because we're doing too much. We're exhausted because we've been holding on to things that we were never meant to carry. Yet we carry them anyway. So today we're talking about release. If you're able to put that in the comments, put that in the comments. Release. It's time to release. And let me be clear. I didn't say it's time to quit. I said it's time to release. So this is what I've learned, and I'm so glad that we're having this conversation. Release is the first step of rest because what happens, your body cannot recover while your spirit is still clenched to all these things. You cannot go into a recovery state at all. I know. I got lab results to prove it. I'll talk to y'all about that later. But here's the thing. Release is the first step to rest. But here's our problem. We're afraid to release. We're afraid to give back out of this thing called guilt. We often find ourselves with this thing called guilt because I'm letting people down. I don't let anybody down. If you're in the workspace, I don't want to let my team down. I don't want to let my family down. These are the things that we experience that sometimes we don't say out loud, that you feel guilty if you decide, or you want to decide, but you're fearful and you choose not to decide to tell your kid no because you don't feel like it. You've ran all day, you worked all day, and then you've gotten off work and somebody wants you to do something else and you take that on. But I'm encouraging you to release this whole idea that I've got to keep doing all these things. Guilt is one thing that holds you in shackles. It will hold you hostage. It will hold you hostage. And see, when I think about guilt, we have that experience that sets in on us because of unrealistic expectations. There are only 24 hours in a day. There's only so much you can do in the 24-hour period of time. There is only so much you can do. And guess what? There's only one you. There's only one you, and there's only so much you can do in a 24-hour period of time. And when you set yourself up with all these unrealistic expectations because you've decided not to decide to say no or to prioritize things and put some things to the side, overcommitting, so then you have an over responsibility. Today, I'm inviting you to be responsible for looking at your long to-do list and seeing what is really yours to carry. That's the conversation. What is really yours to carry? Everything on your list is not yours to carry, not anymore. And here's one that one of my guests, when she comes on, I know she's going to dive into this one so hard, and that is people pleasing. Sometimes I'm going to use this verb. Sometimes people pleasing can show up and in your mind look like leadership. But the problem is, it is not. That's what people have grown accustomed to. You've not established the capacity or the strength to say, I'm either unavailable or that is beyond my scope or whatever words that you want to use. But we will take on so much, typically out of one of those four, the obligation. Like we feel the need to continue. When you have a sense of guilt, when you set up and allow yourself to have unrealistic expectations, when you have over responsibility, and when you decide to be people pleaser, whether consciously or unconsciously, you remove yourself from true rest. You remove yourself from thinking about, I can have a break. I'm pausing on purpose. Yeah, I can have a break. Because let me just say this. Hey, if and since Jesus released his outcomes, God rested on the seventh day. Why are we acting like everything that we do has to be grind and hustle? Oh, ye of little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. Uh, could that be a trust issue? I'm afraid to let go. I'm afraid to rest. Could that be a trust issue? I don't know. I don't know. I want you to reflect on it over the next few days. So, if you laying in bed, or if you're sitting up at your desk, or if you're sitting up, whatever you're doing, I really want you to pause in this moment. I want you to inhale deeply and then exhale. Now I want to ask you this question. And that's a practice you can do throughout the day. Inhale and exhale. Inhale for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 8. That is a good practice to help you to release some things. But I want to ask you this for you to have a conversation with yourself. And it's not crazy to talk to yourself. Y'all don't believe that. What am I carrying that God never asked me to hold? That's the question I want you to ask yourself and reflect on. What are you carrying that God never asked you to hold, but you're choosing to hold on to it anyway? Don't beat yourself up because you've been in it way longer than you anticipated. It's a new year. It's time to breathe again. You're not going to be able to breathe in the new year with the old 2025 or 2024 mindset that we've taken on. Grind, go get it. Grind, go get it. No, rest and release. Rest and release. So say it out loud or say it in your spirit. I release what is not mine. Plain and simple. I'm inviting you to release what is not yours. Now we're saying it out loud, but then after the show, you're going to have to go back and do some action. There's some work that you're going to have to do, and it's going to include, yep, you writing that list. But this, we're not started. I would invite you not to start the year with all these unrealistic goals. I would like to invite you to start the year with writing down 3 things that you will stop carrying. How about that? Before you write a goal, can you release some things that you're not meant to carry? How about that? Let's try that on. What you think? Drop it in the comment if that resonates. Write down 3 things you will stop carrying in this new year. Yeah. So that's going to take some time. So I'm inviting you into this space on this as we figure this thing out on Figured Out Friday in the Coaches Cafe. Coming soon, the Regina L. Lacken Show, a podcast in the very near future. But check this out. Write down 3 things you will stop carrying. Yeah. And then here's the greater immediate. Choose one that you will release today. Without explanation. Choose one thing that you will stop carrying today, that you will release today without explanation. Because we want to over explain things. Good morning, Aunt. Hey, we're talking about resting. And I know you need to rest. You've been grinding all your life, y'all. Listen, it's time out. There are other people that can do some of the things that you continue to do. I'm talking to real people here. And some of y'all know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to your spirit. Y'all know y'all be doing too much because I was doing it too. I want you to write down 3 things that you will stop carrying. But then I also want you to go a little deeper and choose one thing that you're going to release today without explanation. Yeah. It's not new year, new me. No, it's new year, same me, new behavior. That's the new mindset, new behavior. It's the same you. So stop saying that. Stop repeating what you hear. New me, new year, new me. No, it's the same you, but you can get some new behaviors. So I just want to say on this Figured Out Friday, just one thing. Let go so you can breathe again. Let go so you can breathe again. It's time to release. That's the R in the rest framework. It's time to release, like we say, what no longer serves us, what's been weighing you down. And you just get to choose to release what you want to release. And I'm inviting you to do that without explanation. Make sure you DM me, message me. What is that one thing that you decided to release? When I upload this podcast, this episode, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, make sure you drop it in the comments. What is that one thing that you decided today to release? Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Sometimes people feel like when I release something, I'm losing my strength. No, release isn't a weakness. I want to invite you into this mindset that when I release things that no longer serve me, that when I release things that have been weighing me down for quite a long time, whatever that may be, because I don't know what it is for you. It could be a personal relationship. It could be an intimate relationship. It could be a friendship. It could be an opportunity. It could be work stress. It could be your colleagues. It could be a number of things. When you decide to release what no longer serves you, what no longer benefits your optimal well-being, what you no longer want to carry, it's a sign of wisdom. It's a sign that I know my value and I am going to put this thing in place. So today, wisdom looks like putting something down. Point blank, period. That's what your girl got for you on this Figured Out Friday. It's time to put something down. I hope this message has resonated with you all this morning on this Figured Out Friday. We're looking at the rest framework. So you will need to pull up next Friday. You will need to pull up next Friday to get the E in the framework. I'm going to have live guests on here to have conversation about why it is important for us to rest. I've been on my resting journey here for the last probably about the last month. And here's why. I went to the doctor, and the report that I got back, an ANS. If you're not familiar with an ANS report, I'll share more with you about it next week. But I want to make this one kind of short. But I want to encourage you to contact your medical provider, get you an ANS done. I learned a lot about my results and the fact that my blood pressure was excellent, 101/78. Hey, that's good. I work out, that's good. I eat decent, that's good. But what I wasn't doing was resting. And your lack of rest, your lack of deep recovery can impact your cardiovascular health. That's why I'm leaning into this conversation, because it's real for me. Even at a rested state, when I was supposed to be resting, my mind was at 1,000, literally. And so I've been paying more attention to my watch, my sleep score, my rest, getting to bed. And so doing things throughout the day that promotes rest. So I'm going to be talking to you about practical things. But first of all, you got to release some things so that you know that I do have time and I'm going to build in the capacity to rest. So your assignment today from the coach is to write down 3 things that are no longer serving you. 3 things that you will stop carrying in this new year. And then furthermore, today, choose 1 thing that you're going to release, and release it without explanation. It's your girl, Coach Regina, with Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. Before you go, we have to earn. We have to earn. We have to work so we can earn. But before we go, let me say this. I want to remind you of this. You have value in life just because you show up. Rest is not something you earn after you finish everything. Type that in the comments. Make that a t-shirt if you want to. Rest is not something you earn after you do everything. Rest is how you stay aligned as you figure things out. Whatever stood out to you today, don't push past it. If you know you need to release something, and I know you do, the weight you carry in 2025, no, sir. No, ma'am. Don't push past what resonated with you. Sit with it, journal it, pray on it, and practice putting something down. So if this episode gave you language for what your body or your spirit has been trying to say, share this with somebody else who needs to be on this same journey with you, so y'all can have restful, restorative conversations. Somebody got to break the cycle. We're here to disrupt. We're here to disrupt the status quo. I'm not grinding in 2026. And if you're ready to go deeper through coaching, community, or intentional support, that's what I'm here for. You can connect with me off these socials. You all know how to connect with me on my website, on my Calendly, DM me, message me. I'm here. We have community. Black women do heal. A community. That's what we do. We practice. We embody. We show you how to show up for yourself. We teach you how to become unavailable, because you don't always need to be available without guilt. I learned that in that space. And let me tell you all this. Since I have chosen the pathway of rest, the things that I was trying to do on my own with Doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting, big announcements coming up, big sharing coming up. But I'm gonna leak this out. I'm I'm going to leak this out. Partner with Black Women Do Heal in a role that's going to serve us well in this upcoming year and in years to come. Through that community, I learned language that I now use. I don't have the capacity. I didn't have that language when I was in the workspace, but I have that language now. And many people are still in the workspace, or you still have all these responsibilities. You don't have the capacity, but you don't have the language. You did not have the language to express it, how to advocate for yourself without being seeming rude, disrespectful, or insubordinate. But you only have so much capacity. And when you're out, you're out. I like to say this. If you give 40% and that's all you have to give, your 40% is 100% of what you had to give. That's my message to you. Share this out with someone who is in a grind culture, who's struggling, on the fence, still living way down. Language matters. Yes, language matters. There's only so much capacity. There's only so much time in a day. You don't have it. Time is not ours to give, but rest is yours to take. It's your girl, Coach Regina. We're doing Life Well Coaching and Consulting. Thank you for pulling up with me in the Coach's Cafe as we figure this thing out on Figured Out Fridays. Until next Friday, take care of your whole self. Protect your peace. And remember, doing life well starts with how you rest while you figure it out. Make sure you like, comment, and share, and keep trekking with your girl. You know how to connect with me. It's been my pleasure on this Figured Out Friday. New things are coming that I'll be sharing with you all on next week. But until then, hey, do your homework. I'm serious about that. And I want to hear from you. I really do want to hear from you. We're not grinding in 2026. We're resting so that we can be rooted. And I guarantee you, you will rise. Talk to y'all later. It's your girl, Coach Regina. We're doing Life Well Coaching and Consultant, your plant-based boss, and your lifestyle behavior strategist. You all have a well weekend and do your homework. Talk to you later.